Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. I want to thank you guys for continuing to pray for me. I continue to have good luck all week this week. So for example, earlier today I finally went to vacuum my car and I found a few things that I had long since forgotten about. And that was really nice. So that was a nice bonus to this week long of the only thing that didn't go right this week was that I got seriously depressed about my food. What had happened was that you guys know I'm going on a blind date tonight, and I've been eating very conservatively. I don't want to eat something that's going to cause a last minute illness of any sort or cause my skin to break out, and so which is good. I needed to eat better anyway, but I've been so anxious about any food that I'm eating that it's creating its own set of psychological problems for the most part. Physically, it's been very good. If I didn't have taste buds, what I ate this week would have been perfect, right? If I didn't have emotion with my food, right? Maybe that's something I need to work on, right? Okay. There is one other thing I want you guys to pray for. When I finally do meet the right person, and it doesn't have to be who I'm meeting tonight, right? It just, the goal tonight is to be in the network again so that I could eventually meet the right person, right? But when I do, I want to not forget my roots because I'm so part of the reason this past year has been so tough for me is that not only was I alone in the sense of not having anybody, I was all alone in the sense that I had to fend for myself, right? The latter alone was way worse than the former one, by the way. What do I mean by that? Well, during the time that I was all alone, I contracted COVID-19, and I also got poisoned working with pewter. And during both of those illnesses, I was all alone. I didn't have anybody to help me with uh, the household issues, right? I was living with my landlord, and you know how it is, right? The landlord often gets anxious about anything that goes wrong. You're sick, and you leave a mess, and you don't have the energy, can't summon the energy to clean it up. And I felt like I was fending all of that all alone, right? If I were living with my partner instead, and either we jointly owned the place, or maybe one of us was renting from the other, it might not have played out that way, right? And then I got poisoned working with pewter, and I. One day I languished in bed because I couldn't even summon the energy to get up to get water, and that was when I decided I needed to go out and meet the right person. Now this past month I once again had another scare like that. I was lonely, and I got seriously depressed, and I wasn't able to drive my car safely. I got into 8 near-miss car accidents in the space of a week, and after my last one, I one day I walked to the campus. I didn't want to touch my car. In fact, I hid my keys so I couldn't get to my car. And then I walked to campus, and then I talked to a couple of my colleagues there. And again, I didn't get perfect understanding. My colleague, who's a little bit more senior than me, actually suggested that I find out if I can get FMLA from my work for some time to fix things up. But you know what? That would have made things a lot worse because my work was how I recharged myself mentally. What I didn't need was the drive. See, I wish, yeah, I needed FMLA, but only from the drive, right? And unfortunately, a lot of my colleagues did not appreciate that. And so when I finally do meet the right person, I want to not forget my roots and make sure I advocate for people who are still looking for that person. Oh, whether they're still looking or they're happily alone, right? To continue to advocate for them and to make conditions better for these people in one way or another, right? So for example, during the time I had COVID, one of the biggest challenges was one day when I finally went out to get some comfort food and I camped out in the store because it was 120 degrees outside, right? When I finally meet that right person, and I see somebody who is single and struggling to take care of themselves, to maybe have an appreciation for that, right? Rather than trying to shoo them out of the store or give them dirty stares or anything like that, right? And certainly at the workplace to have better treatment for these camps of people, right? I think it's easier said than done though, to keep to remember my roots, because I have friends in my past who have moved on and gotten married or whatever, had kids, and they forgot their roots too, right? So pray that I remember my roots and continue to advocate. This is the Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum.